but all of his 4 years as a professional have been in Austria. First time outside for Saeed Lawal. The Twilight Zone is his music. Looks okay now. At the way he looked a little apprehensive, and understandably so.
Well, I like to see fighters who are a little bit apprehensive. This is a big night for him. If he was too relaxed, then there'd be something wrong. Being keyed up is just part of a fighter's tools. You have to be keyed up, you have to be worried, you have to be on edge. And if Lawal is on edge, then I think that's all to the good.
Seen very much as the opponent here, a 14-1 underdog. You can't get a bet on Nassem. But if you want to back Saeed, he's 14-1. 7 KOs, 19 fights, 17 wins. But this, by far, is the most difficult night of his career, and of course, the biggest.
Yeah, well, I don't really expect Lawal to go home victorious. I don't really give him a realistic chance. But we have to remember, the Africans are famous for their pride and their sheer warrior spirit. So I'm sure he's come here to fight. He won't stand off. I don't think he'll be intimidated. He'll see this as his big chance of hitting the big time, and he's going to go for it. I have to be honest, basing yourself in Austria is not the quickest way to strike terror into everybody's heart. It's a strange move. But we hope that he has an excellent record. He's only lost once. He has 1 draw, an excellent record. And he looks fairly confident. He certainly doesn't look intimidated there as we look at him in his corner.
They've got one common opponent, Freddie Cruz, who beat Lawal, lost on points, did Lawal in Vienna back in December of 1994. He drew the following year. And of course, Nassem Hamed beat Freddie Cruz in 6 rounds in '94.
Yeah, well, we always say different fighters make different fights, but Freddie Cruz was an excellent performer, let's remember. And maybe he just had the style that Lawal couldn't solve out. As I say, we don't expect him to beat Naz, but we just hope he's good enough to pose a few problems, bring out the best in Naz, and hope Naz just can't walk all over him. I don't expect he can. He must have something to offer. He's in the world ratings. He has a decent record, a respectable record. His last 2 fights have gone the full 12 rounds. We're entitled to expect some sort of show from Lawal.
Incidentally, we were talking earlier, or Paul was, with Barry about Lawal being a southpaw. He is a southpaw. I asked Brendan Ingle, the trainer of Naz, if that would affect Naz. He said no. He said he'd have to have 4 hands to beat Naz.
Well, Naz is not an orthodox fighter in any sense of the word. He throws punches from all angles. He doesn't set himself. He doesn't work to any kind of pattern or any kind of routine. Just whatever comes up, Naz deals with it, gets his chin out of harm's way, comes back with the solid counters, until eventually he's decided it's time to go home. Then he goes to work and finishes the job. That's what he's done up until now, and we'll see if he can continue to do that tonight. But the southpaw stance of Lawal, I don't think will hinder Naz in any way whatsoever. But these are very nervous moments. He's thousands of miles away from home, little Lawal here, but he still looks very calm. As I said earlier, he doesn't look intimidated. I'm sure he's been keyed up in the dressing room. We saw him warming up, we saw nice sharp moves. You see the sweat on his brow there, so he's ready to get down to action. So wish him luck, but not too much of it, I suppose.
Now Naz is playing a game here. I think he's keeping Lawal waiting.
Yeah, well, I mean, Naz, once again, you don't know what to expect from him. Naz doesn't have to strike terror into this little fellow's heart. I think the little fellow knows already the size of the task that he faces. I'd like to see Naz just get moving.
Naz is apparently now ready. The Prince behaving like the king. Let's go out to Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now the moment Scotland and Britain have been waiting for. The WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Nassem Hamed.
your eyes. Conquering hero. The ultimate boxing showman of the 90s. Chris Eubank eats your heart out. It's very different from the kind of music that Naz has been playing at this kind of volume for the last hour. O Fortuna from Karima Barama, and Naz is the conductor. And now Naz's own little concoction, something he mixed himself. He calls it knockout position. This may last longer than the fight.
Well, the only one person in the whole arena who's not looking at the entrance of Naz is little sad Lawal. He's standing in his corner, just facing away from all the ballyhoos. So he's just trying to keep himself focused on the job. This is a type of entrance that really could intimidate a visitor, but he's doing the right thing. He's ignoring it completely, just shadow boxing in the corner as Naz comes strutting towards the ring.
Still not exactly in a rush.
Well, most fighters at this time, they start wondering, what am I doing here? Why am I not out with my mates for a pint? But Naz loves the fight game. He's one of the few boxers who actually enjoys going into the ring. Most people, they prepare for the fight, but they worry about it. Naz relishes this. He loves it. Look at him. Loves every minute of it.
He had this going for about an hour. Only a few minutes ago, he was asked to turn it down. Do you think he replied?
It's actually quite possible the Board of Control could eventually complain about this type of entrance taking so long. They might feel it's not fair on the visiting fighter. But the crowd love it. Let's face it, as Bud Schulberg said, boxing is show business with blood. So we're seeing a little bit of show business here, and we don't want to see too much blood. So a little bit more show business is good news.
His third time he's fought up in Scotland, and they just love him. Even with so many distractions in the sporting arena this weekend, this has been a sellout, and it was a long time ago.
So I wonder what the entrance will be like. Will it be a flip over the top rope? Will he just come in quietly? Will he have something that we just don't expect, something entirely new? We'll find out in a couple of minutes.
He wants to party some more.
Nice to see an athlete who has total confidence in what his ability is and what he's about to do. He knows exactly what he has planned.
One of his stablemates, Ryan Rhodes, taught him that, but he does it perfectly.
Still Lawal not looking at Naz. There Naz is over in his corner now. Lawal doing the right thing, ignoring him.
Naz doesn't look overawed by the occasion.
Yeah, hardly. Yeah, Naz still enjoying himself. A wonderful entrance, something new every time you see him. Now he's having a little go at intimidating his opponent.
See Lawal just brush him off there. Let's have a look now at the relevant statistics. There you are, Lawal 6 years older, both of them short, even for featherweights. Naz just 4 ounces inside the limit. Lawal a pound inside. And there the fight stats, and you can see Naz only 3.6 rounds averaging per fight, and Lawal the other way around, 6.3. And 8 of Naz's wins have come in the second round, the round that he predicts he'll win this one in. Right, let's go back to the MC, Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the World Boxing Organization, whose president, Senor Francesco Valcasel, is at ringside with supervisor John Montana from Arizona. The British Boxing Board of Control supervisor is Mr. Simon Block, and the steward in charge, Mr. Brian McAllister. The timekeeper at the bell, Mr. Jim Russell of Glasgow, and the judges at ringside, appointed by the WBO, Mr. Luis Pavon from Puerto Rico, Mr. Jose Rivera from Puerto Rico, and Mr. William T. Connors from the United States of America. And in charge of tonight's action, officiating in his 126th contest, our referee this evening, Mr. Fernandez of Puerto Rico.
There's Ismael Fernandez, who officiates, but of course won't score. The 3 judges will do the scoring here.
Live from the SECC in Glasgow, on Europe's premier sports channel, Sky Sports, and the Big Time Boxing, where it's Big Fight Time. Promoted by Frank Warren for Sports Network and Catherine Morrison, in association with our sponsors, Glasgow District Council for the City of Glasgow, the National City of Sport, and NBC, the Middle Eastern Broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the boxers for this, a 12-round contest of 3 minutes each round to decide the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Firstly, in the red corner, wearing the red trunks with the white trim, and coming originally from Nigeria, now fighting out of Austria. From 19 professional contests, he has had 17 wins, 7 by way of KO, with 1 loss and 1 draw. He weighed in at 8 stone, 13 pounds, and comes to the ring tonight as the WBC International Featherweight Champion and the challenger for the title. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Glasgow, Syed Lawal. And across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, wearing the leopard and coming from Sheffield and the Yemen. In 20 professional contests, he is undefeated. 18 wins by way of KO. He weighed in at 8 stone, 13 pounds and 12 ounces. He is Britain's most exciting fighter and the current WBO Featherweight Champion of the World, making the first defense of his title. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible, unbelievable Prince Nassem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the referee for the contest, Mr. Luis Fernandez, will give his instructions to both boxers.
Dead right, he's the most exciting. How good he is, we still don't exactly know. Maybe we'll know a little bit more tonight.
Well, now is the time for Lawal to meet them eyeball to eyeball, and he still has not been prepared to do that. He's refused to meet Naz's gaze all the way through the introductions. So now we'll find out if indeed he is intimidated.
It's been some build-up. Now, Lawal's people say they're going to be in front of Naz. Take the fight to him.
I don't think that's a bad idea, as long as you keep your chin down nice and tight between your shoulders and keep punching as you move forward. If you stay in front of Naz and don't throw any punches, then he's going to take you out. He can't back off. He has to go forward and try to get close.
Round one.
Oh, my word! That was the right hand we were worried about.
The fight's all over. The fight is all over. His legs have gone. The referee could just call this. Naz, I wonder if he'll back off and just let him recover, because this fight should be stopped. That young fellow's legs are completely gone. If this fight is not finished in the first round, it's because Naz doesn't want to. Yep, it's all over. All over.
The most clinical finish seen in the British ring for some time. And Prince Naseem Hamed retains his WBO featherweight title.
Well, we didn't learn anything new, but we're reminded of the chilling power that Naz has with one single punch. That's all it took. All that training, all that road work, all that preparation for one punch. And the night's work is over.
A few boos around because people feel they've got shortchanged.
Yeah, well, people were expecting, I'd hoped for a little bit longer than it was promised. We were promised 5 minutes and we got like about 30 seconds. I haven't heard the official time yet. But I think people get a little bit disappointed. We really have to see a competitive match. Even if it's a short match, we don't mind, but it has to be competitive. Well, a one-punch start and finish is certainly not competitive. But breathtaking, wonderful power from Naz, but not a competitive match. So people, yes, I think they're entitled to feel just a little bit disappointed.
Next up should be Danny Alicier of Puerto Rico, who's the #1 contender. He perhaps will ask a few more questions. There's the first knockdown, the very first punch of the fight.
It's possible that Naz didn't really intend finishing the fight with one punch, maybe even surprised himself there. Maybe that was just a punch he threw. He stepped in with the punch. It was a wide hook. Maybe Naz at the time didn't really realise it was a knockout punch he was throwing. I think he would have liked to put his show on a little bit longer. As he goes, supreme confidence. Just looking, out it comes, wide punch, bang, perfectly on the chin, and it's all over. The referee could really have stopped it then, because when Lawal got up, he had nothing to offer. His legs were gone. I wondered if maybe Naz would back off and allow him to recover. He decided not to. One more punch, doing exactly as he pleases.
You could see the head rock backwards. It was some punch.
Yeah, tremendous punching and tremendous power. And once again, we're amazed where Naz finds this power, where the power comes from. But the fans are obviously going to feel cheated. There
Two
it goes, look.
extraordinary punches. And there's the second. The head goes right back, and that uppercut really sorted him out. So Naz is the champion. And here is the
Ladies
announcement.
and gentlemen, after 35 seconds of the first round, the referee has stopped the contest. The winner and still featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.
So Naz seems happy enough. A job done in spectacular fashion. Two ruthless right-hand punches. And he's still the champion. We'll be talking to the man right after this break.
Frank, tonight is your time. Your date with destiny. Tonight, your talent, your honesty, and your courage will speak for you. And we are with you. Frank, you've beaten the odds before.